Hi everybody, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. We are, as always, Arne and Carlos.
Yeah, and we finished the embroidery on the bird. Oh, sorry, it's flying away.
It's flying away.
So it's looking like this. So now it's time to put on feathers.
Yes, and we brought out our little box of treasures. We've got old pieces of embroidery, or in this case, some lace with feathers on it.
Is it called pheasant?
Pheasant feathers, and we've got loads of fun little feathers here. And we're going to be adding the feathers and finishing the bird today. We'll be doing it non-stop until the bird is ready. So, and in the meantime, we will be speaking about whatever comes to mind.
Yeah.
So it's that time of the month where we're doing our, in this case, it's a feather podcast from beginning to the end.
And this will be a very rare
Bird of paradise.
A rare bird.
Yes, so let's clear the table except for feathers, and let's start embellishing our bird. We've got our feathers out now, and we are ready to do this bird. And we're happy to be back, Arne. We've been away for the summer.
Yeah, and the bird has been lying there for a long time.
Yeah, so finally we get to do this. It's really, really great to be back again. We'll tell you a little bit later why we've had to put our YouTube channel on pause for 4 weeks. But before we go into that, this is kind of like one of our favorite things to do. What we call the radio podcast, where we do whatever we do, and you guys just pull up a chair, get yourself a cup of tea, sit on your favorite chair, your basket of lovely knitting or crocheting.
Or put out your bird.
Or put out your bird and start gluing feathers together with us. I mean, this is actually not about gluing feathers on the bird. Last time we had a podcast, it was about embroidering sequins. It's not about that. So even if you're not into embroidery or gluing feathers, you could still pull up your knitting and enjoy 45 minutes or an hour together with us.
Who's not into gluing feathers?
I don't know. I'm into gluing feathers, but I know some people...
But I'm doing it now because I'm not giving you the glue.
No, that's true.
Happens.
Yeah. Okay, so the first question before we get into that, what kind of glue is it?
It's textile.
So textile glue.
Because if you use other glue, the bird will be hard, like a rock.
Okay.
So you need to use the textile glue, but I'm not giving it to you because you will probably glue your hands or feet I'm all thumbs. I have to say all over.
I have to say I'm all thumbs and terrible at all these things. Now I'm gonna give a little incident. Talk about an incident. It happened not very long ago. I'm not going to give any names, so you can just imagine who did it. But I remember distinctly, we were in this particular room. We were on our way out. We were, getting ready to go out. And one of us had actually been doing something with Superglue. And one of us was going to change their socks. And one of the socks came out really well, but the other sock was glued onto the toe, the big toe.
That was not me.
Well, I didn't say we were going to say who it was. I'm just telling people about an incident that happened not very long ago. It involved a tube of superglue and a sock. And I can say one thing. It was not easy to get that sock off.
That was when we were fixing... we made this picture of your collection of souvenir dolls. Because I think Carlos has the biggest collection in the world of souvenir dolls.
That I don't collect.
But he doesn't collect them and he doesn't like them. But I think they're cool, so I decided we have to put them in a frame. Actually, it's a second picture with souvenir dolls we're making. Yeah. And we had to glue, or Carlos had to glue the frame.
Arne, I said we're not naming any names. We're just saying that there was an incident. There was an incident with superglue and a sock that was very painful. And it's the way it is. And by the way, the doll collection, the souvenir doll collection, that is something that I don't collect. People should not go around thinking I collect souvenir dolls.
Yeah, a huge collection.
This is what my parents decided to collect back in the 70s when we traveled a lot all over the world. And wherever they went, they bought a souvenir doll. And they were actually amassing this ginormous collection of souvenir dolls for my younger sister. However, nobody actually asked her if she wanted that souvenir doll collection. And, one day when my parents were going to move from Sweden, where they lived, over to Spain, they had this massive collection of souvenir dolls in several boxes that they wanted to send to my sister, who is now married to an American and who lives in Austin, Texas. And my sister never wanted them and didn't want them. So what did my parents do? Well, they were going to come to visit us here, and they drove the car. It was the last time they came by car to visit us. And out of the car came these 6 boxes of souvenir dolls. And my dad just said, well, your sister didn't want them, so I thought we'd just dump them over here.
Some of the dolls are really bad. It looks like your father made them in the airport before he came home.
Yeah, they're horrific.
Some of them are like a plastic doll you buy.
They're awful. They're awful.
Some of them are really bad, but
And
some
I never-
are nice. And actually, if you wonder, these feathers are not from the doll from New Zealand, because remember there was one doll from New Zealand with feathers. I didn't pluck the doll.
What doll?
The souvenir doll from New Zealand.
Oh, you mean
She was covered in feathers. She had the vest of feathers, but these feathers are not from that doll.
Yeah. So anyway, there's 6 boxes of souvenir dolls. I mean, whenever I look at them, I just get sick to my stomach. I hate them. But Arne seems to enjoy them. Apparently, he's looking at Miss New Zealand and Miss Russia and whatever. I don't know what is in there.
I'm going to keep them in my workspace, my studio.
Yeah, and then we're doing some. He's doing these creative things where he's putting a bunch of dolls in a frame. But you know what? Everything. I mean, Arne has this philosophy that it doesn't matter what you collect. It doesn't matter what you amass in your life. You always use it one way or another. And actually, our souvenir doll collection has been the inspiration for a photograph that we took. Do you remember Knitted Dolls? Our book number 2.
Which picture?
So the picture, if you open, so if you've got Knitted Dolls, go get your book and open it up and just look at the first page, the page where the paper is glued to the cover. Open it up and look at that, and you'll see all these dolls grouped together and photographed from above.
Yeah.
And that is actually our version. I mean, it was partly inspired by Kylie Minogue and the video called Slow, because Kylie Minogue, the singer, the pop artist, she did this video for this song called Slow. It was filmed from above, and it had all these people lying on a swimming pool, and they were all, in their bathing suits. She was in a lovely short dress, and they were all lying down, and they were all doing dance moves, and it was shot from the air, from above. And we wanted to recreate that picture in Knitted Dolls, but the original idea was the frame.
I don't
because
remember.
I remember because it was in
because the dolls in the frame look exactly like that.
Exactly, and the dolls in the frame, the souvenir dolls in the frame, were hanging in the then guest room where our photographer was sleeping. And he brought them out and said, "This is fun. This could be a fun idea." And that's when we started doing the Kylie Minogue thing.
I saw Kylie Minogue. I didn't see the souvenir dolls.
I know, but that's what I mean. The souvenir dolls, they were originally inspired by Kylie Minogue, but the cover of that book was inspired by the Kylie Minogue video. No, hang on. The souvenir doll... okay, I'm messing it up now. Okay, let me try again. So the Kylie Minogue video inspired the frame with the souvenir dolls, right?
Okay.
But the photograph of the Knitted Dolls was inspired by the souvenir dolls in the frame. So Kylie Minogue indirectly inspired the Knitted Dolls book photographs. Yeah.
We should put a picture of those dolls on Instagram.
Yeah, I think we have to now that we're talking about them. Now people want to know everything about.
It's kind of a cool picture.
Yeah, it is. So here we are with our feathers. I think we digressed a little bit. I mean, how can you go from feathers to souvenir dolls to Kylie Minogue?
Well, there was a doll with feathers.
And she's from New Zealand, which is not far away from Australia.
I was thinking those feathers could be nice on the bird, but I didn't pluck it because we have so many other feathers lying around.
Yes.
So
yeah, the feathers that we've got here that you're seeing on the screen, some of them come from a pheasant.
That's the yellow.
Yeah, which we didn't pluck. We have to say.
That's from the sports store. You know, the feathers you buy for the fly that you make when you go fishing.
Yeah,
there's a lot of nice feathers in those stores.
And the other feathers that you see on the picture, They were actually in a band.
This one, the one I'm gluing.
The one that you're gluing now. They come in this ribbon, and it's got feathers, and it's actually from Première Vision in Paris. It's the trade show for fabrics. When we were in the fashion industry, we used to go there twice a year.
Yeah, and at
to
that
look
time,
at fabrics.
Feathers was very fashionable at that time. So, well, it has been fashionable later also, but that was one of the times when feathers were fashionable, and those ribbons should be used as trimmings.
As trimmings, yeah. And we bought some trimmings for a project that we did that we can't really talk about because it belongs to the past, and it's actually secret information. But we worked with a project. It is. But we worked with a project where the feathers were involved, and we bought these ribbons of fabric which had the feathers attached to them. And again, they've been in our archives for a very long time, the leftovers, and now we can finally use the leftover feathers to decorate our birds.
Yeah.
I have to say, though, that particular project, which we can't talk about, was very fun, and it eventually led us to this amazing house in Paris. Établissement. No, I want to talk about the house in Paris. The
house in Paris.
Établissement Nerjordet.
Yeah, that was really wonderful.
Nerjordet,
that was a nice place.
Yes, Nerjordet is one of
Why haven't we been back there? We should go back there.
Because it's very difficult to get access.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me tell people what it is. So Nerjordet is an old Parisian house that specializes in a lot of different things, usually feathers, and they are made to embellish garments. They are used by haute couture, or in haute couture generally. And haute couture is, the highest thing that you can accomplish in sewing, in fashion, and very few houses have access to these ateliers now.
But every person all over the world who make a dress call it haute couture.
Yeah, but haute couture is only a few houses that are actually registered with the organization for haute couture. It's houses like Dior and Valentino and Chanel. And do you remember, Arne, when we were at Nerjordet, how amazing it was to see all the feathers that they had and all these beautiful things that they could do with them. They trimmed them, they made them into appliques for dresses.
You can clip, they use a scissor, and you can shape them into beautiful shapes.
Yeah.
Make insects.
And one of the things that made the biggest impression on me was when we went into a room, and there were 3 or 4 ladies there, and they were making these little silk camellias for Chanel. And they were going to be embellishing, I think, a dress.
But the whole place was so beautiful, and those people were so nice, and they had like employee of the month, and then they put a picture of the employee of the month on the wall.
Yeah.
That was very nice.
And there were all these lovely ladies. They all had white coats.
Yeah.
And I mean the camellias.
That's what we should wear. We should use white coats when we do things like this, or when we sit in our mess and knit.
Well, I think...
And you should put a picture on me on the wall like every second week, and I could put the picture of you.
Every second month, you mean?
No, second month.
Employee of the month is
employee of the month. So this month I will be the employee of the month, and next month you could be.
Okay, that sounds fun. But you know what? When we get our new studio, we can do that.
Yeah, we have to do that.
Yeah, but anyway, let's get back to those camellia flowers, because I wanted to say that they made such a big impression on me. They were made in silk, and each petal was cut, and then they were shaped. Remember, they were shaped with these very special, very old tools, and they were kind of shaped and then put together to create a camellia. And I mean, the love and dedication to make each of these flowers was amazing. And we spent, I think, an hour and a half, 2 hours there. The manager was super nice. We were so inspired when we left, and it's like, we could have. I could have worked there. Honestly, I could have trained and worked there all day.
Really good atmosphere, or what you call it.
Yeah.
In the room.
The
whole place was beautiful, and all those cupboards with drawers, and you could just pull out one drawer after the other.
Yeah.
And there was like feathers everywhere.
Yeah, it was just stunning, and we got a few things from there for that project that we can't talk about. I mean, the project we can't talk about, but the fact that we actually went to Nerjordet, we can't talk about. So it was great. It was very enjoyable. And as I said, I'd love to work there as long as they don't give me the task where I need the glue.
No,
because then there's going to be a big disaster.
Sometimes I struggle also, but it's like normal, but I don't glue myself to birds
No.
or floors
No, like I do. Yeah.
or like when you painted your uncle's fence.
Yeah. When we were gonna talk.
You're not good with brushes and
No.
like this fluid stuff.
Yeah, I was 13 years old. I was at my uncle's place. He lived outside of Gothenburg. At that time, he was renting a cottage on a really big farm, and he had a reduced rent because he had to do a lot of work on the farm, like maintenance work. He was like a maintenance person / tenant, and so I was there this summer when he was going to paint the fences for the paddocks where the horses were, and they were going to be painted white. And he told me to do that, and he gave me a pair of gloves, a bucket of paint, and a brush, and I really thought I did a great job. And I painted and I painted and I painted for a whole day, and I mean, I had some old clothes that, of course, were obviously full of paint, and then when I was going to remove my gloves, for some reason I had gotten all that paint inside the gloves, so my hands were all white, and he couldn't understand how in the world did I manage to do that.
I'm glad we don't paint houses anymore.
Well, we have.
But we don't do it anymore because we changed all the wood on the house, and we have this, what's it called, pine tree?
Yeah.
That doesn't need to be painted.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that we don't paint anymore because...
Yeah. But speaking of paint, because I did change my outfit. I mean, we started the video by introducing and saying hello, and then I just slipped into something more comfortable to sit down and talk, because there's glue around here, and I'm very afraid to get my real clothes full of glue, so I actually changed my outfit. What am I wearing right now, Arne?
You're wearing your, what you call it, your paint clothes?
Yeah.
Or working clothes is an old sweater and like this jogging.
Okay, but tell them what the material is.
I don't know, is it like, that's very nice.
It's cashmere.
It's an old cashmere sweater.
Yes.
With paint.
Yes.
And holes.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yeah, well, this cashmere sweater was a beautiful cashmere sweater a long time ago that I bought in Paris, and I wore it for quite a few years without any paint on it. And then I recall we had to paint a room, and I forgot to change. And by the time we were finished, I had paint all over this sweater.
I remember you were really upset.
Yeah, and it's a nice sweater, so I keep wearing it. Now I only wear it around the house, and now it's kind of disintegrating because it is cashmere, and cashmere is a very luxurious fiber, but it's not a very durable fiber. So now it's disintegrating, and it's full of paint. I did get a few years off it. I wore it a couple of times.
But you know, it's
every
too
year.
Good to throw away, so you have to use it until there's just...
Well, hello, it's cashmere.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but it's expensive.
Even if there's like, it looks like, what's it called, hälsotröja?
A straight jacket.
Huh?
Even if it looks like a straight jacket.
Or like the one like the Norwegian thing you use under in winter with holes.
Mhm.
It just looks like a net.
Yeah.
You can still use it if it's...
Yeah, well, I'm going to use it a while longer, and yeah. But now I'm wearing my cashmere, the one that is not the good cashmere anymore, so that in case I glue myself, or you glue, or some glue comes on me, I'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
I will be careful.
Yeah, so we're cutting the little tips off, Arne.
Yeah. We don't want to have too much of the really hard part of the feathers, so we cut off those softest one and put them like on top of each other.
Oh, kind of
Like cover up the whole bird. So
sounds really good.
You might wonder why we knitted the bird and we covered it up, but
why not?
Why not?
Yeah, this is a fun project.
And it's nice to knit the bird anyway.
And if nothing, it gives us a good excuse to sit down for an hour and have a chat and talk with you guys.
Yeah, I think it's like when you first made a few of these birds, it's really hard not to make more. And like if you're like us, you have sequins and pearls and stuff lying all over and feathers. It's nice to use it for something. And it's also really funny to see how the bird comes out, because normally there's no plan.
Yeah.
You just knit from like leftover yarns, or you can use like new yarn, but we have a lot of those small leftover balls.
Yeah.
So we make birds, and
works every time.
it works every time. And you know, if you have a lot of these birds, you can have a really nice Christmas tree.
Absolutely. So Arne, let's talk a little bit about let's talk about being back, because as we started, we're saying that we're back. Some people will probably think that this is the first week we're back. But in fact, we were already back last week with the video that we posted.
But if you see this like in 2 years...
Then we're not.
Then we're not back.
Yeah.
We could be back. You never know.
Yeah. But I'm talking about the people who follow us now, Arne.
Moment, we're back.
Yeah, and I'm talking directly to people that follow us every week, okay? So for the people that follow us every week, we're back. And we have actually been back for 2 weeks. Or for a week, actually. So last week... The week before this video, we posted a Q&A.
Yep.
And that's the first video that we post since we went on holiday. And while we were on holiday, so 4 weeks, we posted reruns, okay? Mm-hmm. So in the video last week with the Q&A, there was a question about what inspires us. And we said the garden. And in that video, we actually said that the garden was covered in snow. And so we have a lot of people commenting on that. You know, they're wondering if we have snow right now. And some people are wondering if it's still a rerun. Okay, so it's neither of them. Because we have no snow right now. We are in the beginning of August after having an incredible summer. It's still a great summer. It's still summer. There's no snow in the garden. The reason why we say that the garden is covered in snow is because that episode was recorded in March.
So because we live like far away from Oslo, and the people who work with us with the videos, they live in Oslo. So when we do videos, they had to come to our house, or we did one in our cameraman Eric's garden once. But normally they come to our house, and then we have like 1 or 2 days, and we have to make a lot of videos. Yeah. So we just have to do whatever we find interesting or fun at the time. Yeah. So it's not like we're not doing the video directly on Sundays when you see it. Exactly. So it's made maybe a few months in advance. A few months before, because we have to make like from 8 to 12 videos maybe in one day. Yeah. So sometimes we can be a little bit off season. Yeah, and logistically speaking, I mean, it doesn't work that people... it doesn't work that people have to come here every week. It's a long drive for them, and we can't do that every week. And also, we travel a lot, so obviously we need a stash of videos, a lot of them, and then we need to plan long term. Okay, so now you're wondering, if we do that, why are we talking about it now, and why am I listening to this now? Is it happening right now? And yes, it is, because this kind of a video is something that we do by ourselves. So whenever we do a podcast, we don't need our team, because we set up our mobile phone, our smartphone, we set that camera up, and we record this, and we talk, and we do it all by ourselves, and then we send this over to the people that film us regularly, and then they edit it together. So this kind of a video we can do on a very short notice, but the other kind of video where we need the team, we can. So it's different kinds of videos, different ways of recording, and I'm glad I'm not doing this, Arne, because that glue... Yeah, I have problems now. Yeah, I think you're gonna, if it was me, I would have glued the bird to the table. But anyway, so when we were talking about the garden in snow, this is because that video was recorded in March. And I mean, we have a plan, we have a long-term plan, and then we just plan accordingly. We do 10, 12 videos each time we do a recording, and then we just portion them out. And usually you'll know when we do a recording nowadays, because we're doing it on weekends nowadays, and the team is spending the night here, and we're doing a live stream. So whenever we do a live stream, you know that there is a production going on of many videos, which is what we've done now. So it's great. Actually, we haven't done that now. That's the thing. So the reason why we took off 4 weeks is because we have been having some renovation process going on here. We have talked about it earlier in our podcast that our studio is going to be done. Hopefully we'll be able to move in fall 2019. And we've had an incredibly noisy time here. Yes. It's been very noisy and very hard to do recordings. And also the weather has been amazing. It's been so warm. It's been too warm to be... It's like actually hard to work because it's been like warm.
Let's put it this way. It's been amazingly scary because it's been amazing, but it scares us because of global warming and climate change.
I have to tell, like in May when we had like over 1 meter of snow, and there was just a small road from the house down to the greenhouse and the guest house, and there was like snow everywhere. And I almost got depressed because I was thinking this year there won't be any summer because there was so cold and so much snow. And then we just had it. So we went abroad to get some heat. So we went to Italy. But this is hard. Sorry. I'm glad you're not doing this.
What's going on?
I have trouble with the glue. But anyway, there was so cold in Italy. So people were actually...
Oh, what did you do now?
You're confusing me.
Sorry.
Sorry. Well, we went away from the cold and then we came home, and in like 9 days later, and the snow was gone.
Yeah.
And you were jumping into the lake
on May 27th.
I'm making a mess now.
Yeah, that's because you were talking about how you never made a mess, and I always made a mess.
Do this at the same time.
Yeah, but I know what you're trying to say basically is that it's been an incredible summer, and here we are. 4 weeks later, we have enjoyed the weather. That's what I was going to get to. So the studio has been messy because the area here has been noisy and messy because we're renovating right now. The building that is going to be our studio is missing a whole wall. And there's no floor in there, and it's just bananas.
And we had to do it because there was so much snow, and the snow
the roof caved in because of the snow.
Part of the roof, not the roof like over the house, but the one that is on
the exterior roof. Yeah. So it's that, and then the heat has been kind of killing us slowly, and then of course we did that trip to China, which delayed everything. So we decided that we needed to take a month off of our duties in order to just get back to where we are, catch up on a little bit of design work, but mainly just, enjoy the weather, the scaringly amazing weather.
Because next year it can be rainy again, like it was last year. You never know.
You never know again.
But I heard on the radio, they said this could be the new standard for Norway. A Norwegian summer. Yeah. And that is scary if that happens.
Yeah, our farmers have been having a lot of difficulties this year. Arne's family is from a dairy farm, and your brother, your nephews, they still.
But they didn't have problems.
Luckily, they didn't.
The soil is moist, I think.
Yeah.
So.
But a lot of other farmers have had a lot of problems. Yeah. Your other nephew, Olaf, has had a lot of problems.
He had problems.
Yeah.
A lot of farmers have to slaughter animals because they don't have food for them anymore. So it's scary. And now the latest that has been all over the news is how expensive electricity is going to be. Yeah, because there's no water. There's no water in the waterfalls in Norway anymore. It's all dried out. And so to produce energy now is going to cost. The supply is probably going to go down. And if we get another terrible winter, demand is going to go up. And it's going to make the prices very expensive. I read or I heard on the radio that it was going to be about $1,000 more expensive a year for electricity this year compared to last year, and that's a lot of money. That happens every year. Well, not like this year. This year, not that much, but there's always a reason to. Yeah, but you know what? I pay the electricity bill. You don't pay it, and I can tell you already now. even if we are at summer, the electricity right now is double what it was last year. We should turn light off because that's what they do. Like in other countries, they turn the light off when they're not in the room. Yeah, we should do that. In Norway, we leave room with lights on and music, and there's like things going on everywhere. We should be more careful. Maybe. Yeah, we should be more careful. We shouldn't be wasting the earth resources. But yeah, it's been scary but beautiful, and we've been up to a lot of crazy things this summer. We've been on tours with our Volkswagen Beetle, and I think more people should drive veteran cars because the Beetle doesn't use any gasoline. No, like compared to a newer car, this one goes forever on almost nothing. So if more people had veteran cars, we will use less gasoline. And I heard this morning, I heard on the radio that the sales on veteran cars has grown a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I heard it this morning. I didn't tell you. Now you know. So veteran cars are really trendy, must be, because people are buying like crazy.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
I think this bird is like a tiger something. Tiger tit.
A tiger tit. That sounds like a nice bird.
Tiger tit.
So yeah, about the vintage car and our trip into the mountains, it was amazing. I mean, I'm sure that if you follow us on Instagram or on Facebook, you may have seen photos of the car, and we've really enjoyed it. We went out with a group of people. You know, interestingly enough, our neighbor on the other side of the lake is also very interested in old cars. She has a Triumph from 1956.
And she has friends with old cars?
She has friends with old cars. So we were a big group of people who drove out for a wonderful drive in the Norwegian mountains. Let me see. I remember the car. So there was a Triumph from 1956. There were two MGs, both of them from the 60s. Different models. The first MG looked more like the Triumph with all these swirls and curves. And then the other MG was slightly older, and it was more in the 60s styles, very clean, very straight lines. So what else did we have? We had a Porsche. A Porsche from the 70s. And we had our own car, of course, the little Beetle.
The most beautiful one?
The most beautiful one.
Beautiful one in the group. The one that looked like, what you call that?
A little pimple?
A pimple. Like compared to the other cars, it was like sporty and narrow and low. We had our pimple.
Yeah, and then we had a Mazda from a newer Mazda, so one car that wasn't quite veteran. And we had a lot of fun, and believe it or not, the two cars that performed the best, well, obviously the Mazda performed very well because it wasn't that old, it's only 18 years old, but the Porsche from 1970-something and our car were the best performers. We could drive everywhere and we had no problems, but the other older cars, they need water to cool them down, and so
ours are cooled down by air.
Yeah.
So, and the Beetle is so simple. Like all the people talked about how hot the engine was because they had this thing in the car who told them these things. The Beetle doesn't have this thing. The Beetle tell you how fast your car is running and how much it has been on the road and. There's a light if the engine is off, and it shows if the battery is stopped.
That's it, pretty much. So no problems, and we drove all the way. We did a wonderful trip around the mountains. We were on location scouting for Knit Stars when we did this, and then we ended up staying the night at this stunning hotel called Reruns in Hegenes.
It's really nice.
It's
not far
really
from here,
nice.
But since we were on a tour, we had to stay in a hotel.
Yeah. And it was a very innovative, really cool Dutch couple that bought the building in 2006 and turned it into a hotel. And the lady is a designer, an interior designer, so it's very beautifully designed. And actually, on a side note, we've done a lot of things in our life. And back in 2006, we were also working with one of the big women's magazines, and we did a lot of material for them for their website. A lot of traveling pieces in Norway. We traveled all over Norway and did a lot of things for them. And one of the things we did was travel in the mountains and write about it. And actually, we discovered the hotel when it was brand new. So
and we wrote about it.
We wrote about it. And it was really nice because when we got there, it wasn't still open. I mean, it wasn't yet open. And they only had a few of the rooms. The restaurant wasn't ready. And it all came to place. Now, I mean, we haven't been there since we did that piece in 2006, and it was really nice to come back. And they were so appreciative when we came. We got a big hug out of both of them, and they were so happy that we'd been back. We didn't tell them we were coming, and we didn't book it. It was our neighbor who made the reservation. Sometimes it's nice to lay low. You never know. But they were so welcoming, and they were so happy to see us again. And it was really, really nice to go back and see that the place is doing amazingly well. Nowadays, it's fully booked 6 months in advance. So,
but if you ever have plans to go to Norway or to this area, you should stay in Reruns because it's really nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. So and then the week after we did Knit Stars. So the Knit Stars gang came up to film, and we are super excited about Knit Stars. It's going to be completely different from what you're used to from a YouTube channel, and I don't know, I think that it went really well. It's a different crew that filmed us. We have our Norwegian crew. The Knit Stars crew was American, so obviously it's going to be a little bit different than what you're used to from our YouTube videos, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, variation is good. And then we did a road movie. We went up to the mountains to talk about inspiration and what inspires us.
And we also went to the
colors.
museum, the local museum.
Yeah. So we started at the museum. And
so if you go to Knit Stars, you will see some of the really nice stuff we get from the archives, which inspired us. And so we haven't done that on our own YouTube.
No, but the thing is with Knit Stars is that usually they come to us and you're supposed to show them your studio and blah, blah, blah. But the problem here is that everything is... It looks like a war zone here. The studio, our studio does not have a wall. I mean, there's a wall missing in the studio because of all the renovation work. I mean, we're going to post pictures and put them on for you to see on the blog, okay?
Do you like the bird?
I love the bird.
I love the bird.
Now it needs some more feathers. A tail.
A tail.
But anyway, yeah, so we couldn't, and it was noisy here and it was messy. And we couldn't film a tutorial here at the time, which is one of the reasons why we've had these 4 weeks of break, not to film here.
I think everybody should have a few weeks of break.
So anyway, Knit Stars, we ended up filming Knit Stars at a museum, and then the day after we showed them the place that inspires us the most, and you're in for a treat. I have to say, I haven't seen the result yet, but I do believe it is going to be fabulous. And I think that, we're always thinking about new ways to do our channel. It started out as mainly tutorials. We're doing so many different things. And I was thinking that maybe we should do a series where we travel around Norway and show people our country.
For that? Didn't some people ask us for that? If you could go around and show the places you could see.
Yeah,
we have some strange places we can show people.
Yeah.
Like these places where there's like something to see, but tourists never go there. It's like we have this bridge where we live, and next to the bridge there's the sculpture park. It's not like Frognerparken in Oslo with all the people, but this is like a small local sculpture park with a few statues of a cartoon figure.
Okay, you're talking about those kind of things. I was thinking more about our incredible country, Arne.
You can show the nice.
We have the most beautiful glaciers in the world here. We have the waterfalls. We have everything here. The mountains. We have the midnight sun. We have the aurora borealis. And I was wondering if we should just do a road movie and show people our country. Would you be interested in this? This is something we're not sure. I mean, we want to do different things. We want to have a varied channel. I know that a lot of people would probably want us to only do knitting, but that's not who we are. We are so much more than knitting. And
we glue feathers.
We glue feathers, and we do crochet, and we love to travel, and we inspire ourselves from beautiful natural scenery. So would you like us to do these not tutorials, but these trips, these road movies where we go in our car? Would you like to see that? Because if you would, you should leave a comment, and if we get enough comments, if we get enough enthusiasm, we may just do that.
Yes, we can do that.
And I mean, that means that people will know more about who we are and what we do. Because, I mean, being us is actually a part of what we do. So, we couldn't do what we do if we weren't us. And we are so much more than just the knitting.
Yeah. And do you think I can get a job in this place in Paris? I can glue feather in Paris.
Yes,
also.
You could definitely get the job.
I can be a feather gluer.
You could be a feather gluer.
In Paris?
Yep.
That's my next life.
Yeah.
My next life.
So anyway, for those of you who haven't heard about Knit Stars, you can go to our blog at arnecarlos.com. You can click on, or you can just do a search for Knit Stars and it will come up. You can go to the website, knitstars.com. But at the moment, there's nothing you can do there except maybe sign up for their newsletter. Knit Stars is this online thing, this kind of online event that is going to be done in October or November. I think November. Like an online seminar with all these interesting designers doing different tutorials, and you get to know all of us if you sign up. A lot of people have already signed up on the early bird. A lot of people very upset because they didn't make it. Don't worry, if you are upset because you didn't make it, there is going to be an opportunity to sign up in the fall. And if you want to do, if you don't want to miss it, you could actually sign up to the Knit Stars newsletter or even to our newsletter. And we will update you whenever we're ready to do a new period of sales.
Yes.
So we're very much looking forward to seeing the result. I mean, I'm saying that it's amazing. I don't know because we haven't seen it yet.
I hope it's amazing.
But I have a feeling.
It was a good day. It was a really nice day, and we ended up in our garden. And not me, but all of you went swimming.
Yeah, that was the
because
last.
It was warm.
That was the last part of our
not warm for me, but
yeah, and that was.
I think it's chilly.
Yeah, but that was the last part of the Knit Stars experience. It was when we drove the team. I mean, Shelley Brander, who is the person who is visible on Knit Stars, and then her partner Ashley, Shelley's daughter, and the guy who filmed. You know, we had them drive all over the mountains, and we never actually told them that we had planned for them to come to our house the last thing, because we weren't supposed to film here because it was such a big mess and it was so noisy and everything. But we filmed the whole day in the mountains, and then when we were ready to stop, we invited them to come and join us and asked if they were interested in a drink in our house. So they were, and we drove back, arriving here at 8 p.m. And I think that after all that amazing scenery in the mountains, when we came at 8 o'clock and it was beautiful weather, the sun had just started to set, we opened the gates to our garden, they were gobsmacked. I think that all 4 jaws dropped when they saw what they saw. And then we sat down on our deck in our beautiful lounging sofas and had a wonderful closure to a really great and very productive and very successful day.
It's very different from the mountain when you come into the garden, because in the mountains there is hardly no flowers or plants or anything, and then you come into our jungle.
Yeah.
So it's a totally different thing. But that was really nice.
Yeah. Wow, Arne, I see the bird is finishing up.
It looks almost real.
It looks really lovely. I see that you've gotten your little needle case out.
Yes.
If you guys are wondering, this gorgeous needle case, where did you get it? Well, you know what? We didn't buy it. We made it. And there is a tutorial, a free tutorial. We did this video about 2 years ago, I would say. And it is the video on the embroidering and how to make a needle case with felted fabric. You can just go to our blog at arnecarlos.com/blog. Just search for the word needle case in our blog search engine. If you want to embroider it, you'll find it there. And there's also, of course, a video tutorial that shows you.
And I'm also thinking we should make a new needle case.
Yeah.
In a little bit different way, but like the same size and with the embroidery.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do that also.
Tell us if you want us to do it. If you want us to do a new tutorial for a new needle case, please put it on the comments field. The sooner we get information of whether you would be interested or not, the better. The more we can plan. We're planning to film again sometime in September before we go on tour. So we do need to make up a lot of episodes that we have to figure out. So anything you want us to do, just put it on the comment field. It will really help us a lot.
But I've been thinking about a new needle case.
A new needle case is fun. You know what? There's so much to talk about, but you are actually pretty much finishing up the bird quicker than I thought. So
no, I've done this so many times. So for me, it's like
but there's
of cake.
There's a lot of topics that we won't be able to talk. I mean, I had so many great things lined up. I wanted to talk about our China trip that we did in June. I wanted to talk about the trip we went to in Florence to do Pitti Filati, the trade show for yarn.
We can talk about it.
There's no time. I mean, you're finishing this so quickly.
We can talk about the dinner in Pitti Filati.
Okay, yeah. So we went to Pitti Filati.
Because I had to put on the beak.
Yeah. We went to Pitti Filati to because that is a place for designers, knitwear designers to go. And also if you work industrially, which we are going to start with probably again at some point. So Pitti Filati for us is very important. It's a trade show for yarn. That's where all the Italian and all the high-end spinners from the world go. Professional spinners, we're talking big things. And the biggest one of them all, Filpucci, invited us to this incredible party in a Renaissance villa. Actually, the villa where Boccaccia's De Camerone was filmed, was written. But there's also a film, I think. But anyway, Boccaccia's De Camerone was written in that garden from the 14th century, I think. Incredible Renaissance villa called the Villa Palmieri. and we had an amazing dinner. Vilpucci
In
invited.
in the road up to the house.
Yes.
That was so cool.
They had 300 seated guests in 2 tables, so 150 guests per table in the Renaissance Gardens with thousands and thousands and thousands of candlelights and beautiful wines and delicious food. And it was amazing. I mean, it was one of the best parties I've been to in a very long time. But then again, it is a big yarn producer, so they can afford it. Okay, this is interesting, Arne.
Because, I'm making the beak not with crochet like in the bird book, but I'm doing with this Nellik.
Cardamom.
Cardamom? No. Nellik. What's...
Oh, sorry. Cloves.
Yeah, the one you
Sorry,
put in oranges for Christmas.
Yeah, I meant cloves, yeah. And those are my cloves, by the way.
I took them in the cupboard.
Okay. I use them to do the Indian rice that you like.
Yeah, I use them for bird's beak.
Apparently, yeah. So
because there's so many nice shapes, you can have so many different beaks. What's it called?
Yeah, and now you're marking the beak with a pencil?
A beak, yeah, I try.
Oh, you make a hole. Oh, yeah, smart.
It's really hard, but...
And then you're just going to shove in, shove in the clove in there.
Put some glue in there, and then I put...
Oh, glue.
The beak.
So I was thinking, this is something I could do, but if there's glue involved, I'm going to stay away.
But it smells a little bit like Christmas.
And
the smell probably goes away after a while, but at least you have a little bit of Christmas smell while you do it.
And this is perfect for everybody who does not know how to crochet, who has been trying to do the beak, and who hate the beak because it's in crochet, because they only knit. Hey guys, get a little clove and use that as a beak. So
and you see those are shorter and longer, and they're pointing like up and down and everywhere, and there's so many different types.
Well, what a clever idea. This is a great tip.
The hole is gone, but I pulled it in anyway.
Pull it in anyway. And what a great tip for people who are struggling with a beak. You see, you learn something every day. If you had enough patience, if you didn't go away because it wasn't about knitting,
so cute with this.
You found out something new that you can do. That looks perfect. A little bird with a lovely little clove beak.
I need to make one more. I have to make one more.
And it's going to stick, are you sure?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So it's been fun, guys. I am inspired. I think I'm going to go look for some of the other birds that I've knitted. And because I didn't do the crochet beaks, I have a lot of beaks to do, and there was a big package of cloves. So I'm going to do that.
But it's so cute with this.
It's really, really cute.
I think I have a lot of good ideas.
Yeah, you have great ideas, Arne. So, this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again soon.
Yes.
So, we're finishing off quickly because the bird's done.
And just take a good look at the bird and enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.